Hey Internet, let's talk about the movie that taught us two things. One, with great power comes great responsibility, and two, William Dafoe's face is a jump scare waiting to happen. That's right, we're revisiting 2002's Spider-Man, a film that's equal parts coming of age story and psycho cosplay. Let's unpack why this superhero movie low-key belongs in a horror museum. Spoiler warning, Norman Osborn's skincare routine is just pure evil. Let's start with Peter Parker, aka Mr. I don't know how to use my face. Tobey Maguire's performance is iconic, but let's be real. This man blinks like he's trying to Morse code help me to the audience. His idea of flirting is staring at MJ like she's a Wi Fi password he can't quite read. Now, let's talk about Peter Parker, the original awkward teen who just found out he can climb walls. Tobey Maguire does an amazing job of making us root for Peter even though he's the only guy who looks like he's never seen a human woman in real life. Peter, buddy, there's a difference between fighting to save the world and fighting to form a coherent sentence in front of the woman you like.
What's that all about?
But in all fairness, who among us hasn't tried to talk to our crush or ended up looking like a malfunctioning robot trying to compute flirting? That's high school. You're just trying to survive while your hormones throw a rave in your body. But Peter's not just any nerd, he's the king of nerds. He's getting bullied by a guy named Flash, which, by the way, is the least intimidating name for a bully. Flash sounds like the guy who sells you knockoff glasses at the mall. But Peter's life is about to change thanks to a radioactive spider and some questionable lab safety protocols. So, Peter gets bitten by a spider, and instead of calling poison control or animal control or going to a doctor, he just goes home and takes a nap. Classic teen move. But when he wakes up, he's got the reflexes of a cat, the strength of a gorilla, and the eyesight of an eagle. And what does he do with these powers? He tries to impress MJ, not exactly saving the world, but hey, we all start somewhere. Then there's the iconic bedroom montage. Peter's out here doing push-ups, climbing walls, and shooting webs like he's auditioning for America's Got Superpowers. And then there's the suit. Peter's out here hand sewing his own superhero costume like he's on Project Runway. Meanwhile, I can't even sew a button back on my shirt if it pops off. But hey, at least he's resourceful. And by resourceful, I mean he stole the fabric from a wrestling promoter, which brings us to WrestleMania, baby. Ah, yes, the pinnacle of subtle storytelling. A scene where Peter learns that capitalism will literally pay you $3,000 to humiliate yourself in spandex. Truly the American dream. Peter's out here calling himself the human spider, which sounds less like a superhero and more like a pest control ad. But then the announcer changes it to Spider-Man, and Peter's like, close enough. And thus a legend is born, not because Peter wanted to save the world, but because he needed rent money. Bonesaw. This guy is the human embodiment of a protein shake. He's got more muscles than a biology textbook. But Peter, he's just trying to survive this fight so he can buy a used car or something. And here's the thing, Peter doesn't even try to fight back at first. He's just dodging Bonesaw, like, please sir, I just want my $3,000. But when he finally lands a punch, it's like watching a nerd win the lottery. Bonesaw goes flying, and Peter's like, wait, I can do that? But of course, the promoter screws him over. Peter wins the fight, and instead of $3,000, he gets a pat on the back and a good job, kid. Welcome to adulthood, Peter. Lesson 1, always get it in writing. So Peter's got powers, a suit, and a newfound hatred for wrestling promoters. But his life is about to get even more complicated thanks to a certain billionaire with a serious case of split personality disorder. That's right, it's time to talk about Willem Dafoe's Green Goblin, the man who made Halloween masks terrifying long before The Purge. Now, let's talk about the real star of this movie, Willem Dafoe's face. This man doesn't need a Green Goblin mask. His smile alone could curdle milk. Seriously, the mirror scene isn't a character moment. It's a documentary about Dafoe's sleep paralysis demon. And can we talk about how this guy weaponizes Thanksgiving decorations? Norman's idea of terrorism is throwing explosive gourds at children. Move over, Pennywise, there's a new clown in town. Also, who designed this mask? It looks like it was carved out of a cheap Halloween store mannequin. When the goblin laughs, it doesn't even move. It's just Defoe's face echoing from a plastic prison. Imagine being an Oscar-nominated actor and spending half your screen time trapped in a $20 Party City prop. Let's break down why this movie feels like Sam Remi snuck a horror script into a superhero franchise. Exhibit A, Aunt May's haunted house sequence. The goblin doesn't just attack her, he terrorizes her with a bag of dollar store Halloween tricks. This isn't a fight scene, it's a Home Alone directed by Wes Craven. And then there's the bridge scene. Norman's out here giving a TED talk on why he's a god, while Spider-Man's just trying to remember if he left the stove on. The tension, palpable. The dialogue, unhinged. The goblin's laugh, a sound that haunts my therapy sessions. So, is Spider-Man a perfect movie? No. But it is a masterpiece of early 2000s chaos. It gave us a hero who cries like a Windows screensaver and a villain who could have easily joined the cast of American Psycho. And honestly, we wouldn't have it any other way.